Hello, I am Thomas Parnell.
And I'm Terrence Foster.
And welcome inside our post-NBA All-Star edition of the Man Cave. This week is all NBA All-Star Weekend action. Terrence, take it away.
Well, let's get straight into it. How did Kobe's final All-Star Weekend turn out?
For Kobe, it turned out really well. I like to see the fans of the game celebrate him because he's well-deserved.
Definitely.
Been in the league going on 20 years now, or 18 years to be exact. But just to see someone who's meant this much to the game be celebrated the way that he is, it was just a great sight to see, and I'm happy for Kobe.
Yeah, I'm also enjoying his farewell tour, as they call it. He's going to all the places he's been, 19 seasons for the Lakers. He's giving everybody high fives, handshakes, saying his farewells, and getting his just due and praise that he deserves.
Yeah, he really deserves it.
Do you think the celebrity game was enjoyable?
I don't think it was. And for the reasons I'm about to state, one, most NBA fans don't even know who Win Butler is. And that was the
MVP.
The MVP. Most casual NBA fans don't know who he is. I get that they're trying to pay respects to Toronto. They're hosting the All-Star game there, being that Toronto has an NBA team within the NBA.
Yes.
So I get it from that standpoint. But at the end of the day, most of our NBA fans don't relate to what's going on in Toronto. I don't want to be insensitive to the nation of Canada, but just speaking for the average NBA fan, we like to see people that we can relate to better playing in that game.
Yeah, I watched it, and I was entertained by Drake and Kevin Hart, who were the two coaches, Drake being the coach of the Toronto team and Kevin Hart being the coach of the USA team.
We are not out here to play games. You hear me? If you play games, you won't play my game. Do I make my Terrence? Do I make my yes. Lose the headband. It's a bad image for the United States of America. Yes, sir. You hear me? Yes, sir.
Drake outcoached Kevin. The final score was 73-64. It was funny because Kevin Hart, third quarter, substituted himself for Andre Drummond, and he got out on the field to try and, win the game, but it didn't work out for him too well.
I miss the days when we saw Nelly, Bow Wow, Justin Timberlake, Chris Brown. Nick Cannon played in this one, but yeah. I miss those days of having those kind of players in the game where it was actually more competitive. But like I said, I get that we're paying tribute to Toronto and Canada. So,
yeah. Which young prospect impressed you the most in the Freshman and Sophomore Rising Stars Challenge?
I say Andrew Wiggins, coming off of MVP of the game last year, on top of him averaging 20 points this year. And on a side note, it's crazy to me. I don't want to get too much into it because I know we're going that direction. But the Rising Stars Challenge was way more competitive than the actual All-Star game. But Andrew Wiggins to me was the most special player to me to watch in that game. 29 points, 13 to 15 from the field.
Pretty impressive. I'll have to go with Kristaps Porzingis. Solid effort by Zach LaVine. I'm sure he got the MVP, 30 points, 13 for 20 shooting, 7 rebounds. But Porzingis also had 30 points, but 75% shooting. So that's excellent efficiency. Also 63% three-point shooting.
Porzingis is really good.
And 5 rebounds. He's definitely probably in the top 3 as far as rookies go for this year so far.
Definitely.
So
Towns
yeah.
him.
So I'm definitely looking forward to see how Porzingis can further his career and improve as it goes on.
Well, that does it for the first half of the Man Cave. On the second half, we're going to talk more NBA All-Star Week. We have the NBA three-point contest. We have the dunk competition. And we have the All-Star game, East versus West. And that's what we'll talk about in the second half. We'll see you on the side. Welcome back to the second half of the Man Cave. We're talking all things NBA All-Star Weekend. Terrence, take it away.
Well, welcome back. History was made Saturday night when the number 1 draft pick, Karl Anthony Towns, won the skill challenge. He was the first big, meaning power forward or center, to win that challenge. So that was pretty interesting to me. So with the three-point contest, you know the results, you know what happened. Who did you expect to win?
I expected, like I believe a lot of people expected, Steph Curry to win.
Respectable.
On an outside chance, I had JJ Redick. I didn't think Klay Thompson had a chance, but he reminded us that on any given night, he's arguably the best shooter in the league. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I just didn't think that he was actually going to win. I thought Steph Curry would take it.
Yeah, respect it. I was rooting for the youngest All-Star out there, Devin Booker. He had 19 points, third place in the final round, right behind Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson impressed me. He stepped up to the plate. He heard all the chatter from last year. He tied with Steph Curry for 27. That was the record set last year for most points scored in the three-point contest. So I think he stepped it up. He's definitely going to be bragging about that for the rest of the season.
You're saying you thought Devin Booker would actually beat, not
I was
Klay
rooting.
Thompson, but beat Steph Curry
Klay
Thompson.
I was rooting. I'm not going to say I was,
so you're rooting.
yeah.
Okay.
19 years old, young talent. You got to appreciate it. You got to show him some respect, you know.
Okay.
So the dunk contest was controversial. A lot of people were talking about it. Do you think that Zach LaVine should have won that?
I actually believe Aaron Gordon should have won. If it comes down to athleticism, Zach LaVine definitely showed his athletic ability. But I'm giving my vote would have went to Aaron Gordon because of his creativeness, using the hoverboard. Everybody, teenagers everywhere, are using the hoverboard. So you had the interest of them. You had never seen that done before. The things that Zach LaVine did, jumping the free throw line, yeah, he went between the legs, but we've seen things like that. We've never seen what Aaron Gordon did with using that mascot. And I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
So you would say the hoverboard was the most impressive dunk that was displayed that night?
Yes, I believe that was very impressive. Actually, give some credit to the mascot because he had to time that perfectly, spinning around for Aaron Gordon to pick it up and then go under the legs and
dunk it.
Yeah, that to me, he should have won it right there. It shouldn't have even went into the freestyle. I think that Aaron Gordon won it right there. If it wasn't for Shaq being extra critical and giving him a 9 because it took him a couple times to get it.
First try.
At the end of the day, that dunk was very impressive, and it was the best dunk of the night by far.
Well, I think Zach LaVine was well deserving. Although that dunk that you mentioned standed out, he didn't end it as he should have. If he would have saved that for last, then he definitely would have won. But Zach LaVine's experience, I believe, helped him because both of them had to make up dunks in the last rounds in the freestyle part to try to win the judges over. So I think Zach LaVine's experience
that first stuff that
definitely won.
Aaron Gordon did in the freestyle round was pretty impressive too, but it didn't get the hype around it because I don't think it happened so fast. I don't think the judges realized what really had happened. But I mean, I'm not upset that Zach LaVine won because he did a good job as well. But if you asked me if I had a vote, which clearly I don't, I would have picked Aaron Gordon to win it.
Yep. So Zach LaVine with the back-to-back for the dunk contest.
Hopefully they both come back next year.
So this All-Star game, where everything was leading to, disappointed some. What about you?
It should have disappointed all. I cannot tell you how disappointed I am with the NBA All-Star game. And this even goes back to the NFL All-Star All-Pro game in Hawaii. I understand it from a player's perspective. You're not going to put your all out there because at the end of the day, you don't want to hurt yourself for real
Play
competition.
a little bit of defense.
It's no
Something.
defense. 196 to 173. And throw that out. The stat of the century is these teams went a combined 51 for 139 from the three-point line. The West shot 83 pointers themselves. And that's not, it doesn't stop there. The West only took 2 free throws.
2.
The East took 5. Nobody's trying to play physical. It comes down to all jump shots. You had Paul George. The only
5 seconds of defense.
The only defense that happened all night was when they were trying to stop Paul George from breaking Wilt Chamberlain's record of 42. Well, outside of that, I mean, the players seem to have fun, but I can't stand watching it because I like competition. And there was none.
Yeah, overall, definitely a disappointment because there was some fancy dunks here and there, but when it's uncontested, like, how much value does it have? Like, the best plays and highlights come from opponents actually trying to play defense and getting embarrassed because the other player is more ferocious. So next year, I would definitely advise
Get rid of it.
more.
Get rid of it.
They need to be more competitive.
I would be fine if they left the skills competition in, the 3-point competition, the dunk competition, and the Rising Stars Challenge. But that NBA All-Star game, just give them a trophy.
They ruined
just
it
tell
for
them
you.
Just tell them that they're selected as all pros and leave it at that. I don't want to see it anymore.
So what was the score for that All-Star game, final score?
The West won 196 to 173.
History was definitely made. Most points
In a
scored.
bad way.
Most points scored in an All-Star game. Incredible.
All right. Any final thoughts, Terrence?
No final thoughts.
Well, that's it for this week of the Man Cave. We'll be back next week with more NBA action. I'm Thomas Parnell,
And I'm Terrence Foster.
and we'll see you next week.